7:01 and good evening, everyone. This is the Air Conservation Commission meeting. It is Thursday, May 26th, 2022. And due to the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic, in accordance with Chapter 22 of the Acts of 2022, suspending certain provisions of the Open Meeting Law, the OML, public bodies otherwise governed by the OML are temporarily relieved from the requirement that meetings be held in public places, open and physically accessible to the public, so long as measures are taken to ensure public access to the body's deliberations through adequate alternative means. This meeting will be live on Zoom. The public may participate remotely by joining Zoom, and the ID number is 840-4058-0886, or by calling 929-205-6099. For additional information about remote participation, please contact the Conservation Commission at concom@ayer.ma.us, or by calling 978-772-8220, extension 143, prior to the meeting. Commissioners in attendance this evening are Jenemiah as member. We have George Bacon as member. We have Jess Gugino, member clerk. We have Mark Phillips as vice chair, and myself, John Schmallenberger, as chair. And we also have soon to be our conservation agent, Heather Hampson. Do we have confirmation of agenda?
No changes on my part.
Anyone else? All right, hearing none, we will take a vote. Is there a motion to approve the agenda as written?
So moved.
Seconded.
All right, moved by George Bacon. It was seconded by Mark Phillips. Do a roll call vote. Jen, how do you vote?
Aye.
George, how do you vote?
Aye.
Jess, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mark, how do you vote?
Aye.
Chair votes aye, passes unanimously. Next item is the approval of meeting minutes for May 12th, 2022. Anyone have any corrections? All righty, hearing none, then we will, is there a motion to approve the meeting minutes for May 12th, 2022 as written?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by George Bacon, seconded by Mark Phillips. Jen, how do you vote?
Aye.
George, how do you vote?
Aye.
Jess, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mark, how do you vote?
Aye.
Chair votes aye, passes unanimously. Next item is announcements. Are there any announcements?
Just heard from Joe Honorado from Water and Wetlands. They are putting up signs and will be starting their survey and their early sonar treatments in a few areas of the ponds next Wednesday, June 1st. Pan Am is going to be doing their traditional herbicide applications to keep the tracks clear between May 1st and August 15th. And those are the announcements. So
That's it. Anyone else? All righty. Then our next item is public input. Anyone who is listening or viewing, if you have any comments or questions, now's the time. Hearing none, we will move on. First item this evening is the public meeting that we will open under the Wetlands Protection Act and also under the Air Wetlands Bylaw. It's a request for determination of applicability at 8 Standish Avenue. Ron and Colleen Kreeser. Good evening, Ron. How are you this evening?
Good. How are you?
Good, thanks. Good, thank you. Saw that you have sort of your RDA with some additional information
Yeah,
on it. It shows the location of, well, where, in relationship to those existing stumps, where those diamond piers are going to go.
yep.
So those things are pretty nifty, aren't they?
Yeah, it
Yeah.
sounds like it.
Yeah, it looks like that's a great application for there. You don't have to do any digging at all. You just drive them in.
Yeah, that's what they said.
Yeah. Yep. Does anyone have any questions or comments concerning the project at Ron's house?
So the RDA has been modified now to indicate it is confirmed, Ron, that they're going to do the diamond piers, right?
Yeah, that's what he said. Yep.
Okay, because the drawing that is attached here indicates that it's going to be footings, 4 to 6 foot deep. So we want
Yeah.
to make sure that no longer is stated, or at least
That's
don't utilize that picture any longer.
Right, that's no longer the case.
Right, and then also we need to modify because it says install 4 footings, and we're talking 6 diamond piers, correct?
Yep.
Yeah, so if we could just get that modified, I guess, Jess.
Did you see the revised RDA that I sent around this afternoon?
I'm looking in the Dropbox, sorry.
It wasn't in the Dropbox.
Okay, then
Freezer
that's probably why.
Yeah, so we do have a revised RDA. Took a while for the cruisers to get the stuff from the engineer or contractor.
Yeah.
Okay, so if it's all, okay,
So we are good.
thanks.
Any other comments or questions from commissioners?
And Mark, it even includes information you wanted of 12 steps.
Any questions or comments from anyone viewing or listening? All right, then hearing none. Is there a motion to, go ahead, Jess?
One question, I'm assuming we're probably going to issue a negative determination. We'll find out in a second, but if we
Find out in
do,
a second.
do we want to put any conditions on this, erosion controls? Know if we need them with diamond piers, but with
All they're
other,
gonna be doing is just walking down there, right, with some kind of an impact hammer and driving them in. Seems like no
okay,
disturbance.
There might be some small disturbance because they're gonna need to levelize where they're gonna place the pier. But I guess if anything, they're just gonna be disturbing sand, I would think. So I'm not too worried about that.
okay,
No.
okay. That was all.
George, any comments?
No,
Jen? Good to go. Motion to issue a negative determination at 8 Standish Avenue, Ron and Colleen Creaser for their project. Yep, sort of as written.
so moved.
Second,
Moved by George Bacon, seconded by Mark Phillips. Do a roll call vote. Jen, how do you vote?
Aye.
George, how do you vote?
Aye,
Jess, how do you vote? Mark, how do you vote?
aye.
Chair votes aye. Passes unanimously. So
And-
there is a 10-day waiting period, Ron, from the time that it's issued, which will be, if it's not tomorrow, it'll be Tuesday.
Oh, Monday's a holiday.
Monday's a
Right.
holiday.
When is your contractor planning to start, Ron?
He says he's real busy and he's gonna try to do it as a fill-in project. So, and that's, it could be anytime this summer, I hope. Hopefully
Okay.
before summer's over.
Sure.
Okay,
But-
so you don't need it right away.
No, but
Sooner the better, though.
yeah, because if he has a weekend that he can start it or a weekday.
Okay, and Do you want it hand delivered or pickup or, well, hand delivery is easier.
Yeah,
Or
that's fine.
Sent certified mail.
Hand delivery is fine. In
Okay.
fact, give us a call, we'll walk over.
Okay. All right. That's
All right,
all
so
I-
10 days after you get it, if you hear nothing, proceed with your project.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thanks, Ron. Sorry this
Bye.
took so long, but just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, as long as we got it done right. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you too. Have a good evening.
You too.
Okay, see you soon. All right. Our next item this evening is a public meeting that we will open under the Wetlands Protection Act and also under the Air Wetlands Bylaw. It's an RDA at 9 Jonathan Drive, Caleb Ford. We were over at Mr. Ford's house last Saturday and Saturday, right?
The
Did
21st.
a site walk. And anyone have any comments or questions?
First, is Mr. Ford with us? I see him on the screen, but,
Yeah, I'm here.
okay. Okay. Did you get my email, Caleb, that I sent this afternoon?
Yeah, I shot some back to you. It came through pretty late, I think around like 5:30 or so.
Okay, so
I
I
have
just,
all the information that you're
Okay.
looking for though, if you just want me to kind of.
yep. So I had asked for the approximate length of the retaining wall.
Yeah, it's gonna be probably closer to like 20 feet, I would say.
Okay. And the materials in the wall.
It'll probably just be made out of like some railroad ties.
Okay. And did you get an approximate distance from where the retaining wall would go down to the bottom of the slope?
Yeah, so do you mean like how high will the retaining wall be, or how far like from the middle, like where the wetlands is to like the start, like the face of the retaining wall?
How far?
Probably about 30 feet.
Okay. And the last question was, you didn't mention on the RDA about whether you're going to redirect the gutter pipe.
Yeah, I'll end up burying that and rerouting it out underneath the ground, basically.
Do you know how deep that'll be, Caleb?
That'll have to go at least 4 feet just to get below the frost line, so I don't have any issues there.
Yep, okay. Anything else, Jess?
Those are my questions. I'm just wondering, going down 4 feet, what Mass DEP will say about this as an RDA. I mean, I think it's a good idea to bury the pipe, but George?
I don't know. That's for them to decide, not us.
We could try. Yep. Okay.
Even if it's been previously disturbed, that'd be gonna be an issue.
Well, it's just digging down fairly deep, but
Yeah.
we could try it and see. I mean, if it goes through, then it goes through. I am fine.
You're good. Jen, you have any comments, questions? All good. Mark?
No, I think just this one, we did want to condition it with some wattles and stuff, I think you said, right?
Yep, some kind of, yes.
Yeah, and then that would have to be right at the top of the slope, and for the full extent of where there's any disturbance of dirt. And what was I thinking?
Should those be inspected
Oh,
before
And those will
construction?
need to be inspected, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So all you'd have to do, Caleb, is call our office or email, and at that point, it should be Heather who will come out and do a quick inspection.
Okay, and then the wattles have to be baked in or anything, or is it just
Usually you
Staked in.
stake them in, especially at
Okay.
the top of a slope.
on that slope?
Yeah.
I'm not aware of how far apart the stakes need to be. Is there a specific distance?
Not that I know of.
Not that
Yeah.
I know of. Yep, okay, whatever seems appropriate, I guess.
Just as long as it's not like one on either end and things just washing down
Right.
into the water, I think it'll probably kind of common sense kind of deal.
I think, yep,
I'd say probably no more than 3 feet between stakes, probably closer to 2 would probably make more sense.
That close?
seems close.
Well, I would assume it'd be similar to a hay bale. A hay bale's 4 feet long and you do 2 stakes per hay bale.
Mhm.
That's about 2. Sounds good.
Yeah, so it's about 2 feet.
Okay,
Okay. Alrighty,
okay.
anything
Alright.
else?
And Caleb, how fast do you want to do this work, or are you in a huge rush, or?
I'm not in a huge rush, no.
Okay, so you comfortable with having it mailed to you, or do you want to pick it up, or?
Mail is fine.
Okay, so I will get that issued on Tuesday. Assuming we.
That's
don't-
a 10-day wait after the,
Right,
okay. So once I receive the, what is it, a permit or,
Yeah, it's called a determination of applicability.
okay, so once I receive that, then 10 days after that, then the work can
Yeah,
start.
it's actually, I think, once I send it to you, which might be a day earlier, depending how fast the post office delivers it. So the date of issuance on the permit is what starts the 10 days.
Okay, okay, good.
alrighty, so let's make it official and vote on it. Unless there's any other comments or discussion. Motion to issue a negative determination, 9 Jonathan Drive, Caleb Ford.
With
With
the
the-
conditions. Yep.
What?
Never
Yeah,
mind.
with the.
I think you were
with the-
going there. You were going there.
I was going there with the aforementioned conditions. Erosion controls, bearing the downspout to exit out there, and what else was there?
Inspection.
Inspected before
The
construction.
inspection.
Yep.
I guess that's it.
So
Second,
All right, it was moved by George Bacon, seconded by Mark Phillips. Do a roll call vote. Jen, how do you vote?
Aye.
George, how do you vote?
I,
Jess, how do you vote? Mark, how do you vote?
aye.
Chair votes aye, passes unanimously. All right, Caleb, thank you so much for your participation. Do you appreciate it? And good luck with your project.
Thank you guys very much. I appreciate your help.
You betcha. Oh, anytime. Okay, our next item this evening is a discussion on a field change at Catania expansion, One Namco Road. Catania
Okay.
Oils. Jess, you were out there to take a look.
Yeah, we had emails from Scott Whitney of Concord Building Services. And there's an area in back of the building. And remind me, I have a fun fact for us, but an area in back where they're putting all their staging material, all the piles of dirt and rubble.
Yep.
And it was supposed to be returned to a grassed state as it was before the project began. But Catania, in discussion with Ardent Mills, they both would like to have that remain and gravel it over and remain a flat area for over parking if they need it. So they came to us with request for hoping it would be a field change. When I went out there, it's, the area is on their plans, it's outside the buffer zone. So I'm not, but they seem to want to have us sign off on it anyways. That said, I also went and, so I said I'd bring it up to everybody. And then I also then popped up to the 3rd floor to ask Heather if the planning board needed to see this. And she said, no, but I should run it by Dan Van Skelquick, which I've learned that's how you pronounce his name today.
Scalp.
Skelk, yeah, Skelquick. To see if he had any stormwater concerns, and he did have a few, so he's going to be talking to them about doing a little infiltration to, because the gravel's not as permeable as grass would be. So, so I don't really think, and you all saw the plan the rough plan I sent, and then this afternoon they sent a better drawing than I had, but the area in question is outside the buffer zone, outside the 100-foot buffer zone. And so I really think, we could make them happy by just saying, yeah, field change, that's fine. Work out what you need to work out with the DPW about stormwater. But I will defer to everybody else's opinions.
Well-
If it's outside of our jurisdiction, can we do anything other than that, really?
Not really.
So yay, go them. Thanks for asking. I appreciate that.
But I thought as part of the overall plan and the removal of the retention pond, I mean, it was a whole thing that we were involved in. It wasn't just, is it within our jurisdiction? So
It's
as you said, they were supposed to make it grass. That's what we
Yeah.
had all agreed to based on the overall plan.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah, so this is a change in the overall plan. On the one side of the building, they were putting in the building expansion and filling in an old retention basin there. And then they
Right.
were using 8-foot diameter pipes to carry stormwater across the back to the other side.
right,
And this is in the crossover area. So,
right. So this would be over the underground pipe that they were putting in, because I remember being up by that swale that we
Yeah.
saw with all the garbage in it and stuff like that and all, right? So they were bringing stormwater, let's say, over to that area instead, which would be traversing, as you said, underneath now this stone area, which was originally
Right.
supposed to be grass.
Right.
Okay. And it's definitely up, it's 100 feet, like heading, what would that be? That'd be kind of eastish towards
yeah,
the pond.
yeah, I'm bad on directions.
I mean, I guess, yeah, based on that being 190, half of that. Okay, yeah, it definitely looks like it's okay, more than, if this drawing's somewhat to scale, then it's probably correct.
Yeah, I mean, it's inside actually the easement, which so you see my little green lines. Sort of going around two sides of that green line area is a town easement for sewer and stormwater and sewer.
Mhm.
And they said this will, putting in gravel there will help them maintain the easement as well and keep that clear. But in any case, the easement is outside of our buffer zone too. So this would definitely not be going farther than that. It would be, not nearly as far. So
What do you think, George? I think you're muted. I think you were muted, George.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. I mean, like Jen said, there's not much we can do otherwise, so let's at least pretend we have some authority.
yeah,
You okay with it, Mark?
Yeah, I mean, again, as long as it's really not impacting anything that we all agreed to as part of the overall plan, I guess it doesn't, I don't have that with me or to have reference. I don't know, Jess, if you were able to spend that time, but, if you didn't, that's obviously, not such a big deal, but
Yeah.
Yeah, I just was concerned that, we agreed that they had to do the grass because of something else, and now that they're changing it, are we just sure? That's
I
all I'm
think it
concerned
was
about.
yeah, and I think the original plan was, it wasn't any requirement of ours, but they were going through that area and then just going to restore it to the state before they went through it with the stormwater. So it's right up against, coming right off of the building, so it's not a previously, I mean, it's already right now dirt and piles of dirt. But they are going to talk to Dan about using a dry well or some drain structures, or pitch the area a bit towards the drainage, so that, because Dan's concern was just the reduced amount of permeability, but he wasn't super concerned. So
Okay,
at
and
any
then I
rate, they're
guess the
going to
last,
work it out.
the last question, since you said it was up and near the building, but it was not close at all to where they had to fix the runoff from the building, right? If I'm looking at the picture correctly, it's totally
Yeah.
away from that, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. All right, then, yeah, I'm good. That's fine.
Good, Jess?
Me,
Are you
Oh,
good with it?
I'm good.
Okay, I'm okay
And-
with it. You can tell them thank you for asking, but
Okay, and I would say we should take a vote and just make it contingent on them coming to an acceptable agreement with the DPW for infiltration.
Yeah,
Okay.
sounds good.
any comments from anyone listening, viewing? Before we move on?
Heather, any thoughts?
My only suggestion would to be in that letter or in the motion to make sure that it states that it's outside of the conservation jurisdiction.
Okay,
I feel like that's important to put in this, since it really is, and you don't really need to weigh in on it, but they're asking you to. I think you should put in that the proposed change is outside of the conservation jurisdiction, hence why you don't see any issue with it,
right,
minus the DPW's concerns being addressed.
okay.
Yeah, thanks, Heather. That's good. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, is there a motion to approve the field change, Catania expansion, 1 Nemco Way, with the condition that it's stated that it's outside of our jurisdiction?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by George Bacon, seconded by Mark Phillips. Do a roll call vote. Jen, how do you vote?
Aye.
George, how do you vote?
Aye.
Jess, how do you vote?
I,
Mark, how do you vote?
Aye.
Chair votes aye, passes unanimously.
okay, you want a fun fact about this area?
Oh, yeah.
So when we did our site walk, there's that long stretch along the building that covers over a side track. And you remember how we heard those birds in there?
They're coming from the building.
Yeah, the screeching birds.
Yeah.
And I was commenting on that, and Scott said, oh, that's automated to keep
Mhm.
pigeons out. They're predatory bird sounds to keep pigeons out. I thought those were real. Did you know that?
I asked somebody about it when we did the site walk, one of the representatives, and he told me at that point in time. I'm
Oh,
sorry I didn't tell you.
I had a whole video recording of the sound as well. I was very excited about it.
Ever since then, have you been out, going there and birding, trying to find those predatory birds?
I've been sneaking in every night, with flashlight, trying to spot them. Oh, okay, laugh at me. I'm gullible.
Oh. No, it's Jess, did you ask them how the construction is going? Did they comment on it? Are they on schedule or?
No, I didn't ask them that.
Yeah, I was just curious. It
We're
seems like,
moving along, but
yeah.
yeah.
Okay,
they've got a lot of the building addition done.
Mhm,
I think all their walls are done, the roof's done.
Yeah.
mhm.
I think they're working on the floor on the inside with the,
Yeah.
piping and utilities and such.
It's
And
pretty
we've got-
impressive.
Keeping those pigeons out is a key.
Well, it's important because we leave our garage doors open and we get birds up in the second floor of our garage, and it's no fun.
Yeah.
For them. All right, we all done with that guy?
We are.
Okay, dokie. Next item this evening is an overview of conservation restriction work to be done.
Okay, so all I did, we still, Robert's back from vacation, have to try to pin him down about finalizing the contract with North County Land Trust.
He is back or he is not?
He is.
He is now, okay.
He is, yes,
Yep.
yes, yeah. So, so at our June 23rd meeting, Anna Wilkins from North County Land Trust is going to come do a sort of preliminary meeting about kicking things off once the contract goes into effect in July. Roberts said he wanted to attend that meeting as well. So that'll be June 23rd. Question is, did we want to have much discussion about things ahead of time amongst ourselves? I did include in the packet the one of the earlier drafts of the contract that contained Exhibit A, which had a list of the description of services. And in our comments, we had asked that eventually be amended to also include Panther Place, Solar 2, and what was the other? Orion Place? Yeah. So, but what are people's thoughts on how we should, where we should aim, bearing in mind that new conservation restriction can't be finalized right now because there is still no reviewer at the state level. But for our first year, we've got a lot of work that needs to be done, but for our first year, what do people think should be our priorities?
I think we should first focus on getting baseline information for all the old restrictions.
Would we want them to also begin to look into how we resolve the mess of the CR at oh, it's not even on here, actually. Oh, yeah, it is. Sandy Pond 2, Mountain Laurel.
Mhm.
To begin to. We do need to do a CR, or at least begin the process, which would be getting that baseline information for the Tooker property. That's when we should get done sooner rather than later, because CPC money was used for that.
I'd also like to see I'd like us to not fall behind on the ones that are current. And if we could get those completed, so that we don't have to create a baseline later on and such. I mean, if we could take ones and button them up right away, that would be great. I don't know what others think, but I'd rather not have to come back to them later on. Let's do them while they're still fresh in our mind.
Okay. So when you say, what specific job product are you looking for there?
So whatever we need to do to take care of Chicker Mill Pond and get that, so we're not holding things up with regards to the development getting completed and what have you. Let's not fall behind on that one.
No, that's actually on my schedule for tomorrow to incorporate because we talked about that one at our last meeting, about adding in some of the detail on the key features on that property. And I'll get that back to the attorney for Dan Aho. We can go back and forth, but we can only take that one so far until we figure out, and hopefully North County Land Trust will know what the state might wind up doing to handle this situation where CRs can't be completed.
And similar, I see you have Panther Place listed too, right? So
Yeah,
again, that's in process. It's fresh in our minds. Let's do whatever we got to do to make that complete.
Yeah.
Not let it, linger.
okay.
Do we need to wait until we meet with North County Land Trust to get a sense of how much they can do in a given year, or?
Yeah.
So we don't really know how much they can do?
Yeah, I would think we should go over what our wish list is and then see what they say about what's doable within the
Mhm.
bounds of the contract.
Because there's a limit of
Yeah, and then,
$10,000.
yeah,
Yeah. And
Well, if we just prioritize and,
Yeah.
they start at the top of the list and just get as far as they can. And then we'll push it back to next year.
I guess
Good.
what I'm trying to point out though is that I wouldn't want us to fall behind on something. So I don't know any particulars really about the whole Sandy Pond thing, but even though I live here, but it sounds like that could be costly because based on just how you guys are describing it, that it's really ugly. So, the fact that it is ugly, it sounds like we could spend a lot of money and a lot of time trying to sort that all out. And these other ones would start falling behind, I guess is kind of what I'm getting at.
I think I understand. I think you're
Yeah.
right. I think I agree.
Yeah, so if it's another year we wait on Sandy Pond too, is that such a bad thing if we can make sure that Panther Place and Shaker Mill Pond don't, start to linger? That's kind of what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
Yep.
Anything else, Jess?
Nope. So, so maybe what I'll do is come up, play with this list and draft a priority list for everybody to review at our next meeting. So that then we've got that to.
Do you have any?
Got our consensus and then we meet the following meeting with Anna Wilkins.
Yeah. Do you have any thoughts on this, Heather?
Unfortunately, I do not. I've only done the CRs on these ones you had talking about recently on the planning board side.
Yep.
And I don't have much experience doing them on the conservation side because we always had Sudbury Valley trustees and Littleton took care of all of our CRs.
Okay, all righty.
So I'd have to read through all the documents that we got going on through these ones now to find out what's
Yeah.
keep an eye and keep track of them.
Yep.
Well, there's a big stack on the desk, but yeah, but the bulk of it is, the purpose of North County is that they know what they're doing and it'll be
Yeah.
less time for them to do it.
As I said, that's why we had Sudbury Valley trustees in Littleton that did all ours.
Yeah.
All right, thanks.
Okay. Special conditions boilerplate, still a work in progress, but I always dream big, so I put it on the agenda.
So nothing further at this point?
Not yet.
Okay.
Coming
No
into
worries.
action. I'm just trying to build up the suspense.
Okay.
Okay, I do
Conservation
have,
Office updates.
yeah, I do have one question on the Peroni Park, the Kitty Junction that we looked at the other day.
Yep.
And I had written to Jeff and Jason about the permitting process and I was thinking, it occurred to me later that it's two phases to the project. There's the remediation, which has to take place first. Then there's a whole separate project, which is the rebuild. And it seemed like we were all in agreement that the rebuild should be a notice of intent, which I think is right. Question is, I think if the remediation, if it was just coming outside of that fence area to where the pea gravel, contaminated pea gravel has spread a few feet beyond, just putting it, I mean, I had mentioned on the site walk with the Parks Department and their contractors that, you know, of course, there would have to be erosion controls on that, at that edge. But then I was thinking, well, oh, if they're actually going to want to take down the trees during the remediation phase, because they'll be taking some trees down inside Kitty Junction as well. And the cost of bringing equipment back and forth, they want to do it all in one fell swoop. So do you think the removal of the trees, the cracked tree down in that lower area where they want to expand the playground, and then the pines that we measured, most of which are inside buffer zone, do you think those could be still handled under an RDA? Because this, if they were doing it during the remediation, that would be during the summer. And I don't know that they'll be ready with an NOI till later in the summer for the rebuild. So just trying to think, what's the right permitting dependent on the timing? But I would think the trees would come down while they're doing the clearing the site.
Yeah, seems to make sense. While they got the equipment there, they just do it.
If they were cutting the trees and leaving the stumps, that's generally not an issue for us, but being a playground area, I'm assuming they would want to dig out the stumps.
Right. And did you say, am I remembering correctly that you said that the slide down to the maybe possible playground down below, is that happening before in the remediation phase too? So would we need?
No, that would happen that would be a whole different contractor group doing the
Okay.
rebuild.
Okay, so that wouldn't be part of the trees or the, okay.
Right, right. So then it would just, as I was pondering this over the weekend, then I thought, oh, but with the trees, should those be either, if they're taking out the stumps, should that be NOI level, or could we do that with RDA?
Would they install erosion controls?
Yeah, I mean, if they
While
did it
they're what?
RDA, we'd be mandating that.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember, and I think when we measured it out, they were like, what, maybe beyond 75 feet is the trees that were taken out.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I don't think we measured like to the Kitty Junction per se, but I want to say, was the shoreline roughly the same? So would the pea gravel be 75 feet or further away, Jess?
if you look at the pond right there, the shore is a little bit further away from the Kitty Junction fence. But as you move further toward where those pine trees were, Grove Pond sort of comes inward a bit. So the buffer zone
Okay.
distance changes. But
Yeah.
they had said the fence itself was pretty much right on the right on the 100-foot, or within a few feet of the 100-foot line. But the pea gravel coming out that's contaminated is definitely just at the very, very fringe of our 100-foot buffer zone.
Yeah, I guess as I think about it more, maybe I'm not so inclined to say it's NOI. I guess that'd be my opinion. I think just the conditioned RDA would probably be fine.
For
Everything.
even the rebuild of the playground?
Sure.
Other thoughts?
Because you're saying it's beyond 100 feet, right?
Well, where they're rebuilding the playground is closer to the pond, or where they're doing that playground expansion.
Oh, okay. And again, I thought you said it was a totally different
Oh, yeah,
thing.
yeah, there's inside Kitty Junction in the fencing, and then there's the expanded area. And that's the area where they want to do grading, put in
Right.
8 to 12 inches of wood chips, take down
Yeah,
that
I
one
think
tree.
Yeah, I think like what Jen was saying, that, yeah, that lower slide and improvement, that sounds like that is a separate entity, and yeah, that probably should be an NOI. But I think the other stuff with the trees on the edge and then the, you know, taking out the old kitty junction and stuff, I'm thinking I'd be okay with an RDA.
Okay. Even the cracked tree in the expanded playground area?
Yeah, we've let people cut trees down pretty darn close to wetlands before. And
I
That's a
guess I-
dangerous tree.
Hmm?
That's a dangerous tree too.
It is, it does have to come down.
Yeah.
I think I'd be okay with the RDA, but I would just want clarification on what they're doing with the stump. To Jess's point, they're probably going to dig it out, and that makes me a little bit more uncomfortable being that close.
Okay.
But also
Yeah,
should be fine.
yeah. I
Would
just want
they-
some really clear idea of the timing, because they'll want to get the permitting for the remediation stuff done fast so that nothing holds that up once they get started.
Absolutely.
then they might just be chipping it and throwing it on the pile with all the other refuse that's there.
That's true. Yeah. That pile will have to come out,
That's gonna have to go.
Yes,
Yeah.
please.
and we can make that clear during our first RDA process.
Well, could they chip the stump and use that for some of the fill?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Anybody know that?
I don't think they typically like to use wood because over time it will deteriorate. That's why you don't use stumps for fill in general, because it will rot and then it sinks,
Right.
I think.
But you said they're putting in 8 to 10 or 8 to 12 inches of chips in
Yeah.
that lower
Yeah.
extension. So I don't, doesn't matter, I guess.
Okay. So I'm gonna say, just want some clarification on what they're doing with the stumps, and that, but we do think that the removal of the trees as well as the remediation of the pea gravel can all be handled under an RDA. And then the rebuild of the expanded playground area, once they get that design in the second phase, that'll be NOI. Okay,
You okay with that, George?
Yes, that's fine.
All right, me too.
all right. Then Long Pond, have you all seen the correspondence on Long Pond and the
Yeah.
water level at Long Pond going on? So I guess I think when water level went high, and it looks like that dock goes up and down on the poles and with the community dock at Pondview, and with barrels resting on top of the water. And I think when the water level went high last year, and the brackets on these poles are getting older and rusty, when the water level dropped, the dock, they didn't readjust correctly. So that's why people, I think, have been getting concerned that too much water went out of Long Pond, and it didn't. It's now at a good level where it's supposed to be. At any rate, I contacted Merle Adelman, who we worked with on a few other things over in Pondview. She was passing a letter on to their management company, because Dan Van Schalkwyk had gone to take a look at it, and Skelquick taken a look at it, and also made some suggestions about what they needed to maintain the dock, do some readjustments there. So those
So
beavers
Jess-
got us into a huge mess.
Just were you down at the dock?
No, but I
Okay.
sent a picture, but yeah.
I was just wondering, does the dock float and just
It looks to
go up and
me,
down on those poles, or
that's what it looks like to me.
so that it shouldn't, if it's floating?
Yeah, but.
I guess my question is it floating or is it supported by the legs?
I think the legs keep it in place. It looked like what Dan observed, because Dan's the one who took the picture that I sent around, that the barrels were not actually touching the water now. So they're above the water. So it looks like the dock got hung up on the poles.
Yep.
And at least the brackets are, at least the two in the front facing area are, one's high and one's low. So I think that's the issue that's going on with that dock.
Right.
Yeah, from what I could see, it looks like it floats on the barrels.
Yeah,
And basically with the assumption that it's gonna go perfectly straight up and perfectly straight down.
right.
And I think over time with ice and such, I think the poles may have shifted a bit. And I
Yeah,
think as it started to come down, it got wedged somehow or another, and I think one got pushed and yeah, I think they need to do a little maintenance on the dock, but I think everything that you and Dan said makes total perfect sense. There's, yeah, so that's, people got used to for it being too high from the beaver activity and now that
Right.
it's back to where it's supposed to be, I think they're just surprised.
yeah, the dock forgot to catch up.
Exactly.
And then in terms of concerns about springs drying up, there's nothing we can do. I think last year was such a wet year and who knows how underground hydrological systems rebalance once we get to a drier year. But it's nothing we did.
No.
So.
They need to go out there with a sledgehammer and pound those things down.
Yeah. All right. And then on the, we do have I guess that's it, actually. I did this. So if anybody has any other things, go ahead, but that's it for me.
Any other updates from commissioners?
I gave a poke to Kristen over at Liddell asking for where's our quote. Been like a couple weeks now, and she's like, "Oh, I'll get on that." This morning she said, "I'll get on that. I'll have it to you this afternoon." I haven't seen it, so I'm not sure what's going on over there. Maybe it's just a busy time, but hopefully we'll see that later today, tomorrow, such that we can get moving on these things and get the material. So it's kind of where it sits at the moment.
Okay. Okay, doke. Heather, you have anything to add?
No, not really. Just I'm looking forward to starting in the next week and a half, so it'll be good.
Are you all set for that workshop?
Yeah, as far as I know, it's all set. I saw the list that you sent me and everything's on there, so I just gotta pay for it when I get there and make sure I can find it okay.
Yeah, good luck.
My only concern is I haven't worn my work boots in, I don't know, 6 or 7 years, so I gotta make sure they fit. Otherwise, I'm gonna be wearing sneakers there.
Yeah, well, don't we have a budget for, an annual budget for,
Yeah, there is. I asked Carrie to give me a copy of that before I started, so I had an idea, so I can make sure we zero it out before the year ends, and I'll have to bug her about it tomorrow if she's in.
Okay, good. Anything else? Motion to adjourn?
before 8 o'clock. Okay,
Second,
Okay, moved by George Bacon, seconded by Mark Phillips. Do a roll call vote. Jen, how do you vote?
Aye.
George, how do you vote?
Aye.
Jess, how do you vote?
I.
Mark, how do you vote?
aye.
Chair votes aye. Passes unanimously and we are adjourned.